everybody, how y'all doing? Are you okay? In your neck of
When we dry them up, too cool. Now go too deep, you know. Yeah, you have to watch Joe, you know. Our troops, see that? Apple cider vinegar and our troops. Come up right, make them get saturated in the gravy and all of that. On today's episode of the Jamaican Cooking Journey, I will be preparing for you some hominy and peanut porridge. This is hominy corn and peanut. Now you're going to need some green peanut or raw peanut with a red on it. Alright? Because I always tell you, Jamaican people don't make porridge with peanut with the red off it. You want the red, that's where the strength is. So I have some hominy corn here. I had 2 cups that I had washed and pre-soaked about 5-6 hours ago. Overnight would be fine just the same. Now I have right here some water coming to a boil. I'm spicing up my water with some cinnamon leaf. You could spice up yours with some cinnamon powder by mixing the cinnamon powder into this before cooking. Now you can go ahead and slow cook your hominy, which is gonna take you a few hours. I like my pressure cooker, so I'm gonna be using my pressure cooker. But before I put it in there, I'm putting if you have dark sugar or brown sugar you can, but I don't have, so I'm putting this amount of white granulated sugar. I'm dissolving it. When you do it, also I'm gonna add a little salt. When you do it like this, family, there is something about the hominy. It is a grain. This is the salt, and it is, when it's cooked, it is hard to take the flavor in. The liquid has the flavor, but the grains does not have it. So I am cooking the corn with some sugar, and as I said, your sugar of choice, it doesn't matter. And I am also putting a little salt. I am going to use my pressure cooker, but I am waiting until my water is spiced with the cinnamon leaves. Then I'll be removing my cinnamon leaves and I'll be putting my corn to pressure cook. Once my corn is being pressure cooked, I also have here my fresh coconut. I'm going to be using some fresh coconut milk along with some probably just ready cow's milk or maybe some evaporated milk. Okay, so I'm going to be using my food processor to process this peanut out, but you will see which interval or at which interval I'll add the peanut. So in the next clip, my water should be fully spiced. I'll remove my cinnamon leaves and then I'll proceed to add my corn to be cooked pressure cooking style. Okay, now family, I have removed my cinnamon leaves. You can see the slight change of the color of the water because it has the water has pulled the spice from the cinnamon leaf with the heat. So now I'm going to be putting in my hominy corn with my little sugar and my salt as I have showed you there. Remember, I told you, you can slow cook it if you want. I don't want to slow cook mine. I don't have time for that. So I'm going to pressure mine. But even though you're going to pressure it, remember pressuring, I have 2 levels here. I have minimum and I have maximum. I am at the minimum right here because I'm just doing a small amount of stuff. So I'm dissolving this properly and I am going to be pressuring it, but not on a very high heat. I'm going to pressure it on a medium flame and all of that, because when this thing starts pressuring, it gives off some froth. So you don't want to pressure it on too much of a high flame. Okay, so I'm going to go now, get it all pressured, and then I'll return. Okay, so this is what the food processor did with the peanut. So I'm gonna go now, prepare my coconut milk, and in the next clip my corn should be cooked and I'll proceed. So family, this is my corn and I'm gonna mash it to the side of the pot, and you can see I'm gonna smash it so you can see that my corn is fully cooked, and also it expands to almost double the amount. So this is how it looks. So I'm gonna mash some now, spend a little time and mash a little and come back to you. Now you want to test to, you know, a little piece or a little grain. Be careful. You want to test to see if it's okay, if it's chewy, or it's too chewy, or it's at the right point that when you're drinking your porridge. Remember, this porridge is supposed to have some corn in there that you can chew, but not tough. It's not supposed to be chewy. Now right here, I have my mashed peanut and my coconut milk, and I'm gonna give it just a little run on the blender. I'm just gonna mix it out. Get my flame down. Okay, so you want to whip it, family, until it's more refined. Look at this. Now you're gonna be pouring it in. Remember, it's your porridge, and you're gonna dissolve it. Make sure you mix everybody up, and when you look there, you can see that the red, you're seeing mostly the red from the peanut as it incorporates into your hominy already cooked. Here you're gonna do it alternately or a little at a time. You don't pour all one time. Soon as you put in a certain amount, you let it get properly mixed in and all of that, whilst the heat is under there. So we can put in this in 2 more parts. Remember, family, I always tell you these things, you're to do them when you want to get good results. Proper eating food. You are, get your flame up now. Oh, our flame was down. Oh, it's still there. I'm gonna rinse my jug just with a tiny bit of hot water. See that? Okay. Get your flame up, and you're gonna start, let it cook 10 minutes with some stirring. Why? The coconut milk needs to be cooked, and the peanut needs a little cooking too. So you're gonna get your flame up, nice and dandy, and all of that and handy, and you're gonna start stirring to get that body together. Now, this is the time also for some extra flavoring, liquid flavoring. Some vanilla, not too much, depending on how strong your vanilla is. This is a beautiful flavoring that we use in baking. It is good in porridges too, and I'm gonna put a little, very strong, so I'm gonna put like about a teaspoon, and I'm gonna continue stirring. Stir, and look at the beauty. Dad, shoot them up. Gonna stir, get your flame up a little, and you're gonna stir until this porridge starts taking some body. I'll be adding a little grated nutmeg, and I'll be checking also for my salt perfection. So I'm gonna go stir until it starts taking body, and I'll return. I'm like about 4 minutes now in cooking the coconut milk, and I'm stirring. And if you were watching the very first part of the video, you from the start, you would realize that it's thickening. No need for cornstarch, no need for flour, no need for anything. As you cook, you give it constant stirring. Remember, I always tell you that the method of stirring, when we stir in cooking, it brings things together. You can see what is happening. So it is a mini corn and peanut porridge with that coconut milk flavor, with that extra almond, yellow almond, good vanilla, nutmeg, that cinnamon leaves that we used to flavor the water before. What more could you ask for? Next clip. For additional creaminess, I'm adding some evaporated milk, maybe half of the can. And I did that at the 5 minute, the halfway interval of cooking the coconut milk. Remember, I told you the coconut milk and the peanut, they'll be cooked together for 10 minutes. So I've just added this. You can add what you want. You don't have to do what I do. You do you, while I do me. So I'm going to continue stirring. You can see this is coming together so nice. Continue stirring occasionally. And you're going to give it, even though you're doing slow, you're putting some pressure. Why you're putting the pressure? You don't want it sticking in the bottom and getting it burned. The hominy is thick, so you got to stir slow but strong. In the next clip, I'll have the porridge ready, and we'll be taking it from the flame, let it cool down, and we're going to sweeten. Never sweeten your porridge with the flame on. Next clip. So this is my finished porridge without sweetening, family. I have removed it from the heat, so I let it just continue stirring. See what it looks like. I've removed it from the heat, and I'm gonna sweeten now. I'm sweetening with sweet condensed milk. You could sweeten with whatever you feel like. Okay, family? Do you, family. I've often emphasized that. I've often said that so many times. So I have used 3/4 of a tin of sweetened condensed milk. You can do what you want. I don't like my porridge too fresh. You can do what you want to do when sweetening your porridge. You want to dissolve this properly. I have tasted already for my final salt. In amount of salt, that is good for me. My flavors are intact. I'm doing my final sweetening now. And as with any other stirring, you want to make sure that your final stirring, is thorough, meaning you get everything, your sweetened condensed milk, or if you're using sugar or whatever else you want to use. Make sure it's properly dissolved in this hot liquid, and then you're gonna leave it a minute or two, and then we're gonna come back and I'm gonna pour for you. So I'm gonna serve for you, and as it cools down, it thickens more and more. So family, you have no need to put any form of cornstarch or any form of flour, anything like that. The peanut and the hominy is enough. If you put, when it gets cooled down, or it's gonna be even so thick that you have got to probably be cutting it. But if you like it that way, you can add your cornstarch or your whatever. Now make sure that your bowl that you're serving in is not dripping with water, or else you'll have a watery porridge. Okay, so I'm gonna serve for you now from the pot, and I want you to look at what is happening right there. Dad, are you shooting them up? You're on it, Dad? I'm gonna, this combination, this is what you call stamina, family. Don't do too much. Let's go clean our bowl and come back and present to you. From my kitchen to yours, from my Jamaican kitchen to your family table, to your palate, and most of all to your stomach, it is a mini porridge, a mini corn and peanut with coconut milk added to the mixture. With this serving up, we have a nice little holiday pattern bowl. Please do enjoy. Now, these are the time that call for these warm stuff, soups and porridges. With this, some saltfish fritters, some ripe banana fritters. There is a playlist of fritters there on my channel. Just go check it out. How you get to it? Just go right onto the channel there. You'll see community, you'll see whatever, you'll see playlists. Click on it and it will lead you to all the sets of playlists that I have. This is beautiful with saltfish or ripe banana fritters. Remember to be you, do you. Most of all, love you. In the description of this and all my other videos and lives, there will be all the info that you would like to get onto me. My Patreon link is there. Remember to support my Patreon. Videos that you will see on my Patreon, you'll never see them on my YouTube page. Remember to check it out. My email, everything is there for you. Love you.